smoke. Left center field. Adios, Peralta. It is out of here. Out of here. And yes, indeed, we are going home. Yes! We're going home. And that is a win this team needed. As soon as he hit it, he was like, thank goodness.
Hey everyone, welcome to 1225 Live. My name is Alexa Datt. Hope everyone had a great long weekend. We got a bunch of baseball news to unpack today here on the show. Former MVP Andrew McCutchen is heading out west, joining Evan Longoria. They are now in the Bay Area. Does that make the Giants contenders? Well, guess what? It's Hot Take Tuesday here today on the show, and Danny Wexman and I are going to take opposite sides of that argument. Speaking of the San Francisco Giants and their playoff contention hopes. So we will discuss that. Plus, Gerrit Cole is officially official. It is the time now to talk about him as a member of that Astros rotation. Is this rotation one of the best in baseball? Richard Justice will join us in a little bit to discuss that and what that means for the rest of that division as well. Plus, the Cubs held a convention where they had an Ask Me Anything, and kids say the darndest things. We'll share that with you a little bit later here on the show. But we start with Danny Wexman, our social savant. And Danny, my question to you is, I know we've been talking a lot about working out and eating healthy because it's the top of the year. But right. Can you get on a treadmill and run 26 miles per hour like Andrew McCutchen can?
Absolutely, 100%, without a doubt, no. The answer is no. I think I could do 15 miles an hour. I'm doing it in my head. I've done 10, so I'm thinking 15 would be my max. But that 26 is almost double that. So
right.
A little less than double.
Yeah.
There's no way.
So this B-roll came out, and we're watching and mesmerized by him and his legs, the speed at which he's able to do this. First of all, it's one of those curved treadmills. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I mean, it's like somebody hit the fast forward button and the TV just started malfunctioning.
You're like, wait, is that in real time or what's actually happening here? And as we talked about too, the second you misstep, the second you start using your brain and thinking, you're gone.
The funniest part is that his new teammate Mark Melancon, obviously the Giants closer, was like, at 26 miles per hour, Kutch can get from PNC Park to AT&T Park in exactly 98 hours, 48 minutes, which seems kind of fast, right? But if he's running 26 miles per hour, right, he would get there. Welcome to the Giants. So it's nice to see his new teammates welcoming him with open arms.
He'd be traveling about 2,600 miles to get there. So, you know, do the math there. We checked your math, Mark Melancon, by the way, and you did a good job. So
that's right.
Congratulations. And on top of that, social savvy Hunter Pence and his wife, Lexi, also welcomed Kutch to San Francisco. Take a listen.
Hunter, what day is it today?
Oh, it's Kutch Day! Welcome to the Giants, baby. Let's go!
All right, hey, listen, he's fired up. I love it.
And that fires me up.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, I guess he posted a GIF, too, of Kutch chasing birds around in the outfield. He's like, I can't wait to chase birds with you. Whatever you want to do out there, Hunter Pence. Hopefully play some defense as well, so that'll be nice to see them all together.
They're going to be a nice pair out there.
Yeah, so here's the question that we had today, as it is Hot Take Tuesday here on 1225 Live.
Yes.
Danny and I don't always see eye to eye, and I don't think we do on this argument either. Nope. The hot take of the day is whether we believe the Giants are going to make the playoffs next year or not. So, Hot Take Tuesday, Danny, let's go ahead and start it off. I will start it with the Giants, I believe, who are going to make the playoffs in 2018. Listen, it's an even year, so this is what the Giants do in even years. They make the playoffs. Not only making the playoffs, they win the World Series. But seriously, this season it's a wide-open National League. That bodes well for this team and their chances at a wild card spot. Pirates and Marlins are rebuilding, so they won't be a threat. You got the Mets and the Cardinals who stepped up, but so did the Giants. Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen are huge additions to this team. Kutch has hit at least 21 home runs in each season since 2011, and we know that that was a weakness of this team last year. He smashed 28 home runs, 88 RBI, and 11 stolen bases last season, and he joins a team with a really strong rotation. You got Mad Bum there, you got Jeff Samardzija, you also have Johnny Cueto, you have Mark Melancon as their closer. They have some other options there as setup men that are really great. You guys coming back, and Buster Posey and Brandon Belt, who are going to be healthy in the middle of that lineup. I'm telling you, because you have a wide-open National League, I do believe that the Giants could sneak into the playoffs in that second wild card spot. I feel very strongly about this for this Giants team.
I see that. I see you and I hear you, and I appreciate the passion that you have just brought to this Hot Take Tuesday, and I'm going to try to one-up you right now because I don't believe that the Giants are going to make the postseason.
Hey, Danny, bring it. Let's go.
I think they're going to have the most fun this year, but I do not think that they're going to carry that fun over into October, okay?
Right.
Let's talk about, first of all, the Dodgers are going to win that division. So the Giants could win the wild card, but they're not going to because the Rockies are going to get one of those wild card spots. You know why? Because the Rockies not only fortified their bullpen, but they also have Charlie Blackmon and Nolan Arenado, two of the best bats in the game. And then let's slide over to the NL Central, where we have the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Brewers. The Brewers, in my opinion, are going to win this division this year. That's going to leave it up to the Cubs and the Cardinals to duke it out until the very end, winning one of those wild card spots. And you talked about the Mets. If the Mets arms, their starting rotation can stay healthy, they have a chance to squeak in there because we all know the Nats are going to win the NL East, so there's no chance of the Mets getting in that way. But when it comes to the Giants, they're not there. They have these older guys who know how to play the game. They're veterans. They can teach the younger guys, but in my eyes, they are not going to be able to compete and carry all the way through the season to outlast these other teams that have really bolstered their rosters to make it all the way through the year and in October.
Listen, I think this team has everything that it takes in order to win their 4th World Series since 2010. You give Mad Bum the ball in a wild card game, and especially with the insurance of having Kutch in that lineup and Longoria, 2 right-handed bats, I believe that they can get it done, and they believe they can get it done. Listen, the window is closing in order to get Posey and Mad Bum, those rings that they need. So I feel like additional rings. I feel like this is the year for them to get it done. So we'll have to see how this plays out, but this is going to be a very interesting race.
There's an asterisk to Mad Bum as long as he stays off the ATV, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So.
Yeah, he's got to be healthy, that's for sure. And listen, when you have a 4-time All-Star as your ace, there are a lot of precautions you have to take, and hopefully keeping him, off of those ATVs and any sort of extracurricular dangerous activities, is a precaution that they're going to take. And I feel like this is the year that they're going to get really serious. The team is letting them know, we are all in.
For sure.
You all better be all in too.
I was literally just about to say that. You're reading my mind. They're making moves. They're putting the vibes. They're putting the vibes out there. They're like, hey guys, don't think that we're going to slack off this year.
Right.
We are making the moves. We want to make this happen this year. But just because you make the moves doesn't mean that the moves are going to make you.
That's very true. I also don't think they're done yet, though. I think they could add another piece in that outfield potentially. They're talking about Billy Hamilton. If they get a speedster.
Lorenzo Cain.
I think Cain might be out only because they got a center fielder, but they could move some pieces around potentially. We'll have to see how that all plays out. But yeah, Billy Hamilton I think would be a huge addition. So we'll see. All right, question of the day. This is all coming from this Hot Take Tuesday today, huh?
That's right. So we just told you guys who we think will be heading to the postseason. But let's go to Facebook. Our friends on Facebook. In the NL, we want to know what 5 teams, so the 3 teams that are going to win the division and then the 2 wildcard teams are going to try to head to the postseason. Who do you guys think are going to head that way? I'm not thinking the Giants. Alexa is definitely thinking the Giants. So let us know. If you're not on Facebook, run over, and we're going to read those at the end of the show. Plead your case to us.
Yeah, sounds good. We will talk about all of your cases later on in the show. Danny, we're going to talk to Richard Justice and get his take right now.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, Danny. As we welcome in Richard Justice right now, let's talk a little bit about these Giants, Richard. So they add Evan Longoria, then they add Andrew McCutchen. What can we expect from the Giants in 2018?
A bounce back year, and Alexa, they were already going to have a bounce back year because Madison Bumgarner only started 17 games last year. Johnny Cueto, his season was a nightmare, beginning with his father being sick in spring training. Brandon Belt's going to bounce back. And also Hunter Pence is not going to have that kind of year. So they were going to be better. And Fangraphs already had them second place behind the Dodgers in NL West. So, okay, they add 2 iconic players in their cities. Andrew McCutchen. Let me just say, Alexa, one of the things that the Pirates' rise to prominence did, it did plenty for the city and for the ballpark and the franchise. They let people all across this country see what an exciting, great player Andrew McCutchen is, and that's a big part of it. The other part is Evan Longoria did pretty much the same thing for the Tampa Bay Rays when he was there. These are the kind of guys that are going to fit in with the culture that Madison Bumgarner and Buster Posey demand, the kind of culture that Bruce Bochy appreciates. He's going to love these guys. Now, if you want to argue, you say, well, okay, one's 31, one's 32. Their best years are behind them. I think they're both going to be energized by a ballpark that's full every night. It's a rowdy college-type atmosphere. And also, you walk in every day, and there are 3 trophies on the table. And trust me, that matters. This team, when you're around this team for a few days, they have an expectation of winning. And I think that's a big, big deal.
Yeah, let's take a look at their projected lineup. I was listening to Evan Longoria over on Hot Stove, and yeah, Richard, speaking to exactly what you were saying, he was saying how excited he was going to be surrounded by fans every single night who, you know, are a sellout crowd, who are excited, who know what winning is like, who, you know, are just, you know, juiced and give this team a lot of energy. When you look at this projected lineup right here, what stands out to you?
Well, what stands out is left field, Jarrett Parker and Andrew McCutchen in center. Now, they've done all of this. They've gone out and gotten McCutchen and Longoria, and still they're at about $192 million. In other words, they're under the 197 threshold. So I'm thinking they're looking at center field. Maybe go get a defense-first center fielder. Gerard Dyson is out there. Maybe the Reds would trade them Billy Hamilton. I don't think, even with the prices coming down a month from spring training, I don't think Lorenzo Cain is going to end up there. Although, you know, stranger things have happened at this point in the market. You never know. But that's the one thing that stands out is that they're going to probably look at upgrading center field in a big ballpark like that, and a team that's been built around bullpen and starting pitching. You want a guy that can go take hits away. You know, is McCutchen that guy at this point in his career? I'm not sure about that, but so I think there might be one more move, but they're good and they're right now. If the season ended today, I think Fangraphs has the Cardinals hosting the Giants in the NL wildcard game, and the two franchises that would make big, huge steps back into contention.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard, are there names out there? We talked a little bit about, you know, maybe not Lorenzo Cain, but maybe a guy like Billy Hamilton that you could see sliding into center field for the Giants?
I think that would be a tremendous move, because not only is he an exciting player and he's a better offensive player than Gerard Dyson, but like Gerard Dyson, he's a speed guy. He takes hits away. And, you know, when he first came up in Cincinnati, there was a buzz in the crowd when he stepped to home plate. He drew a walk, got an infield hit. There was a buzz because you knew he was going to second base, and he was pretty much unstoppable. What he has evolved into is a guy that plays a great defensive center field. And there are no hits, and that is, you know, as you know, that is a big ballpark out there, and defense is really, really important.
Let's talk a little bit about Andrew McCutchen, five-time All-Star, former NL MVP, won the Roberto Clemente Humanitarian Award. What is his legacy going to be in Pittsburgh?
3 years there, 13, 14, and 15. He finished first, third, and third in MVP voting. Pirates made their first playoff appearance, 3 straight playoff appearances, their first since 1992. The whole country saw that this guy was a great player. He's a funny guy. He's a productive guy. Everything you want a professional athlete to be, that's who Andrew McCutchen is. And Alexa, let me tell you about a day I spent in spring training a couple of years ago. The MLB Network happened to be showing an Andrew McCutchen highlight package. And it was a long spring training day. You know, guys are tired. One guy just stops by the TV and, you know, starts watching. Oh, and Andrew does this. He takes a hit away. Then he legs out a triple. Another guy stops by. Another guy stops by. Within 5 minutes, the whole team is there, and they're screaming at the TV. And Neil Walker said later, he says, you watch this, and it's a reminder that you're lucky to play with a guy like that. But the funny part of it, the other funny part was, the only guy that wasn't there was Andrew McCutchen. He was on the other side of the room just looking at the floor, and I was going, man, you don't want to see the Andrew McCutchen show? It's something to see. That's, to me, is his legacy, that he helped the baseball renaissance in Pittsburgh. He made them winners, and his decision, his arrival in 2009, gave Pirates fans a reason for hope, and his decision to sign a contract extension, to tell ownership and general manager Neil Huntington, I believe what you're doing here. And then they surrounded him with other players, but he was always the centerpiece.
So the Pirates send Kutch to the Bay Area. They also send Gerrit Cole to the Astros. Do the Astros now have the best rotation in baseball?
You could argue that. You know, Cleveland is really, really good, but you could argue that. You know, and from the Astros standpoint, okay, today it's the best rotation in baseball, and now you have Verlander, Cole, Altuve for 2 more years. You have Keuchel and Charlie Morton in their walk years. You don't know. But I think the outside world would look at the Astros and say, hey, they were already set. They didn't have the starting pitcher. I think general manager Jeff Luhnow looked at it and says, look, Keuchel and McCullers have both been on the disabled list the last 2 years. Let's get some more certainty with this guy. They played footsie with Jake Arrieta and Yu Darvish. But at the end of the day, 2 years of Gerrit Cole at fairly reasonable money made more sense for them, and that's what we're seeing. This whole free agent market is from the bottom up. Let's start with the guys that are more affordable, and the people that you and I projected to be the long-term expensive guys, they're still there.
All right, let's rank some of baseball's best rotations right now, Richard. Let's talk about the Astros, Indians, Nationals, Mets, and Dodgers. If I gave you those 5 rotations, how would you rank them?
Well, I'd start with the Mets. The Mets could be the best. The Mets could be number 1, but they're number 5 on my list because we just don't know who Matt Harvey is right now. We don't know about the health of some of the other guys. Potentially, it's one of those rotations, though, that they come to town, it's going to be an uncomfortable 4 or 5 days for you because they've got Syndergaard and Matz, and they have nasty stuff. I would say the Nationals would be in the conversation for number 1, too. And when you get to if they get to the playoffs and they have Strasburg and Scherzer at the front of their rotation ready to go, they deserve potentially to be number 1. But I would say they probably want one more guy, one more sure thing. That sure thing could be Eric Fetty from the farm system, somebody like that. It could be Tanner Roark taking a step forward. They think A.J. Cole is ready for a breakout season. My third place team is the Dodgers, and I don't know why I placed them third, except that the Astros and Indians are really good. They began it with the best pitcher of our generation, Clayton Kershaw, and then Alex Wood was really good last year. Maeda was really good. Rich Hill was really good. There would be some durability issues on the part of Rich Hill, but they have a kid coming too, Walker Buehler, who's ready to go. So they don't have their usual 10 starters like they've had a couple of times in the past, but they're outstanding. I go Indians at number 2 with Kluber. Anthony Castrovins pointed this out the other day. The Indians have been rewarded for the patience they had with Trevor Bauer, and now they're getting a guy who's got great stuff and has figured things out, and thrived under Mickey Callaway, who's now the new manager of the Mets. And Corey Kluber is a number 1's number 1. And I would put the Astros at number 1. They're the reigning champions. Justin Verlander is back to being Justin Verlander. You have Cy Young Award winners right there at the top, 2 at the top of the rotation. And Gerrit Cole's a guy with one of the best fastballs in baseball. And you know how he's going to benefit from the data from the Astros insisting that pitchers throw their best pitches. And I've mentioned these 3. I haven't even mentioned Lance McCullers. When he's healthy, when he gets it all figured out, he's got a chance to be number one, too. And he's going to figure it out. He's a smart guy and a competitive guy, great work ethic. But maybe the best thing for him is that now he slots in at number 4 behind the 3 aces.
Richard, how interesting is it that just a couple months ago we were talking about Dallas Keuchel asking the team, almost begging the team for additional pieces like a Justin Verlander, like a Gerrit Cole, and now they're both in that rotation. Yeah,
I guess they listened to him. Jeff Luhnow listened to him, huh? Yeah, when Verlander started Game 1 of the postseason, we all went to him and says, "Don't you a little upset about this? That's your spot." And he said, "I'm the one that griped that they didn't do anything. I don't think I should be opening my mouth right now." And he said, all I thought about was when we got Justin Verlander is we got a chance to be really good, and we got a chance to play a long time in October, which they ended up doing.
All right, so the Nationals still need to figure out their 5th starter, and that is going to come as the season progresses. Really, it could be solved in spring training. But they do work out their bench, at least with Howie Kendrick. They come to terms on a deal with him. What's the most glaring need, do you believe, that needs to be addressed for this Nationals team before opening day?
I'm not sure there is one, but the thing that would most catch your attention is, okay, get us one more starting pitcher. What the Astros just did, get us Gerrit Cole. And they're sneaky in free agency, the Nationals are. So if one of those guys, Arrieta or Darvish or Alex Cobb, if one of those guys ends up in a Nationals uniform, none of us should be surprised. They've gone down that road before. But on the other hand, arguing against it, they believe A.J. Cole's got a chance to be a big-time guy, and Eric Fetty appears to be ready for the big leagues. But you want some certainty. All that they've done, this is the last rodeo for Bryce Harper in Washington, most likely. And after all they've accomplished, all these games they've won since he arrived in 2012, I think the second most in baseball, they haven't won a postseason series. So you want to add some certainty. You want to get to the postseason and have Scherzer pitching game 1, Strasburg game 2, and let's say Yu Darvish game 3. Then you're a force to be reckoned with.
So on your list of strongest rotations, you had the Mets at number 5, but like you said, they could be number 1 depending on their
absolutely.
health. Yeah, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. They gave him a little bit of support. They signed Adrian Gonzalez, and they also have Jay Bruce there. What do you make of their ceiling for 2018?
The ceiling is high. And, one of the things, don't discount the importance of getting Mickey Callaway, the former Cleveland pitching coach, to manage the team. He's a people person. He's one of those guys you want to play for, you want to please. He has a track record of communicating and getting the best out of pitchers and helping pitchers develop. And I think that's important for Matt Harvey. It seems like it's always been a back and forth, a tug of war with Matt. Are you totally in? Are you committed? Are you healthy? All of that stuff. And I think if there's one guy that can get the best of Matt Harvey out of Matt Harvey, it would be Mickey Callaway. And I love Jay Bruce, 3 years, $39 million. Sandy Alderson was patient. He didn't go crazy in free agency. What he did, it adds some depth to the team. I don't know where Jay's going to play. Maybe first base, depending on what Adrian Gonzalez does. And Adrian Gonzalez is a veteran guy, 35 years old, who was hurt last year. But if you go back to if we were having this conversation a year ago, we'd say one of the most productive hitters in baseball. It's no risk, such a small financial commitment for them that, look, bring a veteran guy in and give him a chance to make the team. If they end up on opening day with Jay Bruce playing right field and Adrian Gonzalez playing first base, Sandy Alderson's, that is the kind of move that can pay off and can make the difference between finishing first and finishing third. Especially
if Adrian Gonzalez's back doesn't act up on him and he could have a healthy year, you can get a lot of production out of him at first base. All right, you wrote about the pros and cons of 6 potential acquisitions, and one stood out to me, potentially having Manny Machado go to the Diamondbacks. Richard, what was your thought on that?
My thought on that is that Arizona has been the most aggressive in trying to get him. They have the prospects to offer. He wants to play shortstop. They can put him at shortstop, leave Jake Lamb at third base, and it would make some sense. Here's the problem, though. Ultimately, that deal has to go to Peter Angelos' desk. And when you've had a renaissance the way they've had the last couple of years, you can't take a step back. And that's the way Peter looks at it. He is telling his general manager, Dan Duquette, look, go out and get us a couple more starting pitchers. Let's try to keep the band together for one more run. And I think that's what they intend to do. You and I can sit here and say the right thing to do is to have traded Zach Britton at the trade deadline last year, to trade, you maybe have traded Chris Tillman, and to trade Manny, at some point. But a franchise works, you can work 20 years and not get a player as good as Manny Machado. And to trade that guy, no matter who you get back in return, you're sending a message to your fans, okay, we're ready to take a step back. And I just think they feel like they're capable of competing in the AL East. You and I would look at it and say, okay, Yankees, Red Sox, Blue Jays are pretty good. I don't see it, but give them credit. And I think if you're a fan of the Orioles, you appreciate that attitude.
Another potential acquisition stood out to me on this list. Jake Arrieta to the Mariners, Richard. What are the pros and cons here?
The pros and cons of Arrieta to the Mariners is that they've got money to spend. They feel like a healthy season from King Felix, that they're ready to go. Paxton took a big step forward, and they're good enough to compete. I mean, they are in the mix. Astros, Angels, Mariners in the American League West. The cons of it is how many years is it going to take? How far are you going to go into that? Does this truly get you over the hump? The market for pitching is Minnesota, Milwaukee, probably the Phillies. So there are 4 starting pitchers out there: Darvish, Arrieta, Lance Lynn, and Alex Cobb. There's more teams seeking pitching than there's teams going to be to get pitching, and that may lead to a financial commitment that Jerry Dipoto is not comfortable making.
All right, sounds good. We got a fan question. Actually, we have a couple for you. Danny's going to handle that, Richard.
Richard, you're very, very popular all the time, but especially today on Facebook. Yeah, sure. Our friend Adam wants to know, will the White Sox prospects live up to their expectations?
That's why they call them prospects. I'd say they're in a great spot. And when you have accumulated this much talent, and everything I'm saying is true of the Atlanta Braves too, you're going to win at some point. We saw it in Kansas City. We saw it in Houston. We saw it with the Washington Nationals when they started bringing these guys to the big leagues like Anthony Rendon. You're going to win. And Rick Hahn knows what he's doing. He set off on this path. So will they all make it? No, they're not all going to make it. But the future is bright. And and I'll say this about the Milwaukee Brewers. That's one of the things they wrestle with right now. Do you give up prospects to go trade for a pitcher? Do you sign an outfielder and then trade somebody? But like that team, they are in a position to contend for a long time. And while you want to win this year, you don't want to lose sight of the big picture. I would say this: the White Sox are in a great spot. And just look to the north side of Chicago. Do what they did. That's what they're trying to do.
All right, I'm sure Adam appreciates that. And Michael wants to know, what are the Red Sox doing about a bat? Adam, what the Red Sox are doing about a bat. They're waiting for that bat to say yes. I just think this is going to happen. The J.D. Martinez is going to sign with the Red Sox, but obviously it's about money. It's about years, and it's about money. I think also on J.D.'s the part of it is he's never really been a full-time DH. And when you have Betts and Bradley and Benintendi, you're not going to play the outfield regularly. And that's a big adjustment for the guys. But right now, they've agreed to disagree over money, and JD has been quoted as saying, hey, I'll wait into spring training. I hope he doesn't do that, and I hope they can reach a meeting of the minds because he's that guy. He's that guy that will love the intensity of Boston. And then they get him. Their offense is already pretty good. They get him. They might be better than the Yankees at that point. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Ooh, it's Hot Take Tuesday here, Richard. I love that. That is awesome. And you laying it on here in 1225 Live. Just sneak that in right before you leave. But yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. But hopefully Scott Boras and his client can come to terms with that team up there in Boston. Richard, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Sounds good. All right, Danny, we talked a little bit about this last week as MLB held their annual event, their Dream Series in Arizona this weekend, and it was really cool. It's a way to showcase a diverse group of high school-aged pitchers and catchers, and a way for them to showcase not only their talent to their peers, but also to the next level, which I thought was really interesting. And all of these guys and their several amateur development camps all coming together. Several of the coaches spoke about what this means, not only to have it happen over MLK weekend, but what it means just to these kids and their progression in the sport. Take a listen.
When Tony Riggins came up with the name Dream Series, with pitchers and catchers only, during the Martin Luther King weekend, that really made it special. And hopefully we're getting through to them to where they are ingesting the information that we're giving them and making them better.
Body language. I mean, even if you're not, them not knowing whether you're having a good day or a bad day, that still puts the pendulum in your favor. And just talking about having, walking in a room, and when you see guys, I ask them, who do you see out here when they walk in a room? You look and you want to know who that is. It's because they have that confidence that you need to be a successful, professional athlete.
So much good information that was given to me that doesn't belong to me, and these kids need to hear about it. Really enthused about how the kids go about getting in position to understand, work with what we're trying to do in the bullpens, understanding long toss and the programs that they need to make themselves good. It's a lot of work, and I've been fortunate enough to learn from some of the greatest, and try to put that out here for these youngsters to take on for themselves, and if that information helps them, great.
To be able to give back in this way gives me great life, gives me great joy to pass on some of the knowledge and some of the thoughts and ideas and strategies that I've gotten from people like Philippe Alou, Jim Leland, managing against the La Russas, the Torres of the world, Bruce Bochy's, these types of guys. To be able to kind of pass that on is very significant for me because I don't want to take it with me.
Lex, the cool thing about this is it's specifically designed to happen over Martin Luther King weekend. These kids come from all over the country to showcase their skills, but they're also going there to grow their character and their passion for the game and throughout life. So it's a really, really cool weekend for these kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is more, than just baseball. It's about teaching these kids life skills and also making them better people in the community and making the community realize that they have these amazing characters in their community. So to be able to reach out and, give back is another really important lesson that we all learn from this. So I thought this was really great. MLB, what a fantastic initiative carrying into 2018.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're talking about Gerrit Cole, man. The fact that he's switching area codes. It was like unofficially official, then it was officially official.
That's right. It's basically Facebook official now.
Yeah.
And his teammates, of course, were chiming in. So we're going to show you some of the ways that they are celebrating his move to Houston. Dallas Keuchel here. We going legend. These guys are so pumped for Gerrit Cole to join the rotation. What do you got, Lex?
We going legend. What does that mean? What do you
mean? What does it mean?
They're going for it, back to back. I need somebody to be more straightforward. I can't read between the lines. We going legend?
Come on.
I just don't get it. I don't understand.
The best is for last, though. We have a GIF, of course, to celebrate from Alex Bregman.
Okay, this I understand.
But it's of Alex Bregman. So I don't know what to say about that, but he's clearly pumped.
Yes, he's very excited.
Scream it from the mountaintops.
This I very much understand. It's a good visual. So
you get it.
Yeah, no one's mincing any words. We going
legend?
No.
Come on.
I don't know what that is.
Let the kids have their fun.
Yeah.
Come on.
Too old for it. All right, question of the day.
Question of the day. All right, with Andrew McCutchen heading over to the Giants from the Pirates. We wanted to know who you guys think. It's early, but it's not that early. Who are the 5 teams in the NL who are heading to the postseason? 3 teams plus the wild card. And we're going to tell you those. But first, our friend Justin had a hot take. He said Jacoby Ellsbury is going to go to the Rockies and Ian Desmond is going to go to the Yankees. I guess whenever this stove is starting to turn a little bit more. So Justin thinks that. But as far as our NL playoffs go, Tim, my 5 playoff teams in the NL: Dodgers, D-backs, Cubs, Phillies, and Nats. So I'm going to guess that it's Dodgers, Cubs, Nats, and the Phillies and the D-backs will be playing each other in the wild card.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow. So they think that the Phillies are going to finish better than the Mets in the division? Is that what we're thinking here?
But what's interesting is our friend Brian also said Dodgers, Cubs, Nats, sleepers, Brewers, and Phillies.
Ooh.
Whoa. What is
everyone
going
high on the Phillies today?
What's going on here?
And then they added a couple of bullpen pieces, right? And they have Carlos Santana.
And Rhys Hoskins.
They have Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah.
Odubel Herrera is great. I don't know. Are we just sleeping on the Phillies? Is that what everyone's trying to tell us?
Our producer TJ is surely thrilled about these answers. Matt said NL playoff teams: Dodgers, Cubs, Nationals, Cardinals, and Diamondbacks / or Brewers for that wild card.
Okay.
It sounds like, but he said if the Giants make the playoffs, I will publicly print this comment section, make it into food, and eat my words.
Good, you should. Yes, absolutely. Because I don't know why everyone's all of a sudden saying the Giants haven't done enough or the Giants are too old. Are you kidding me? It's not every team is about a youth movement. A lot of these guys, because they have experience in the postseason and winning World Series, are going to be able to get there with not all the perfect pieces that are needed.
Alvin said Giants made serious moves now to stabilize middle relief and bring up those pitching prospects for some needed work. So it seems that our friends on Facebook are high on the Giants and high on the Phillies. So this is going to be a wild 2018 if that is true.
Yeah, the Phillies part I don't particularly understand, although I do think that they will be good in the next few years. So I could see maybe a future prediction of that being the case. But this year, I think they're a couple of pieces short.
You never know.
Yeah, they gotta worry about their rotation too. So
Christian said Giants have Longoria and Andrew. They are turning back into the 2012 Giants. So they did win in 2012. So you never know.
Yeah,
Stranger things.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll take that. That's for sure. All right, each offseason, the Cubs put on their annual Cubs convention where basically you have a couple of baseball players saying to the crowd of kids, ask me anything, and the kids took that to heart.
Yes.
The best part about it is Kyle Schwarber, Chris Bryant, and Anthony Rizzo answering these questions from these kids, and this is absolutely gold. Take a listen.
It's hard for me to get the girls, so do you think you can take a picture with me?
Hey, with pickup lines like that, you ain't gonna have no trouble, buddy. Come on up.
And I have a question for all of you. What is your favorite board game?
Not the one we played yesterday.
You started off, Chris.
Is this to play with Bryce Harper or just...
Oh, my God, Bryce Harper.
What was it? Monopoly.
Nice. All right.
I wanted to know if you want to be my Valentine.
Oh, yeah, come on up. Wow. Can we all be your Valentine?
There you go.
What's your favorite letter in your name?
W.
I just got that for win. W for win.
Out of all the free agents right now, which one do you think has the best qualities to bring to the Cubs?
How old are you?
8.
You should be in our front office, man. You could take Theo's job.
My name is Jesse. I live somewhere. What?
Wait, hold on. You live somewhere?
Yeah.
Do you know where?
No.
Hey, stay right there, buddy. Don't ever change.
I live somewhere.
The kid asking the question about the free agent market. By the way, you can watch the full video over at MLB.com because those guys' answers, Jake Arrieta, of course. They'd love to have Jake Arrieta back on the Cubs.
Yeah, by the way, that 8-year-old is coming for our jobs, Danny, so we better watch out.
Hey, you know what? Whenever he's old enough, it's fine. He can take my job.
Yeah, for sure. Just come take it now. You don't have to be old enough. You can be 8 years old and do this job. It's
That's
totally
right.
Fine.
So adorable. I love when they do that. But I have one more thing for you, Lex. Before we go, I just found this, and I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't see that it was relevant, and now it is relevant. Archie Bradley did the thing that everyone has been doing this past weekend, where they go online and take a selfie, and they get matched with a famous painting, and Archie got Van Gogh. The painting is from Van Gogh. Kind of looks like him, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think actually, you know, Archie's beard obviously is a little bit bigger, but they trimmed that off in the photo there. But I feel like the self-portrait and Bradley's selfie are like two and the same.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
So everyone has been doing this weekend. I did it, even I did it, and I don't usually like jump on these things. I got all boys when I did mine. I didn't even get a girl, so I don't know what that says about me.
Well, didn't we, when we were matching up with celebrities, you looked a little like Evan Longoria? Isn't that what they said?
No. No,
it was
you got Evan confused with Eva.
Oh, right.
Is what it was.
Oh, my bad.
This doesn't always happen to me. It just happens when we're looking at famous painters.
That's right.
So
Okay.
it's a
Sounds
small
good.
window. Anyway.
By the way, if anyone who's watching wants to participate in that and in the compare yourself to a mural and send it in, we'll show it here on the show.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Yeah. We'll do it for us, too.
Yes. Tomorrow.
We'll share it tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Let's all get involved.
We'll do it. Let's get weird.
Yeah. W for Wednesday, right?
That's right.
Is that your favorite letter in your name?
No, my ex.
Yeah, I like my ex, too.
It's fun.
It's unique.
Yeah. Look at us. Not
Okay.
that unique. You have one, too, so.
Well, just the two of us have it.
That's fair. All right. We're cool. Wednesday. I'll see you there.
Thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. And thank you for watching us here on MLB.com. Really appreciate it. Keep it locked here for all your latest trade and free agent news. We will be back tomorrow on 12:25 Live with all the latest and a special guest joining us to discuss it all. Thank you so much. Same time, same place. See you tomorrow, Wednesday. Take care, everyone.